Hi, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of VCF Breakroom Chats. My name is Alina Thylander. I am your host and fellow product marketing engineer here at Broadcom. Today, we're going to kick off a fast track for admins who want to master infrastructure as code without headaches. And I've got just the right person to help us do that. Scott McDermott is here, and he is a product marketing engineer at Broadcom and a total pro when it comes to VCF automation. So if you've ever wondered how to go from things like manual provisioning to full-blown automation, or how VI admins can evolve into infrastructure as code champions, this is your episode. We're breaking it all down step by step, so let's get into it. Welcome, Scott.
Hey, thanks. Great spot to meet up at.
I know, it's kind of nice. I like it too. Um, okay, so the first question I have for you, Scott, is around the VI admins who we keep hearing that they're worrying about, migrating to cloud roles because that for them means heavy retraining. How does VCF 9.0 shorten or, helps with that path?
Yeah, sure. So it provides this guided quick start wizard, and that interfaces with the cloud consumption interface and gives you a UI-driven Kubernetes administration. So if you have familiar skill sets, that'll map directly to these cloud admin tasks. And that means less time learning the new tooling and more time delivering self-service infrastructure to application teams.
That's great. So, it sounds like you can become a cloud admin with the skills that you already have. So I like that quite a lot. Um, the second question I have for you is around IAC because it often involves heavy scripting. Um, what makes learning IAC on VCF 9.0 easier?
Sure. So VCF Automation democratizes infrastructure as code using a low code model. So that gives you the drag and drop blueprint canvas plus a concise YAML template. And so instead of lengthy files, admins can visually construct blueprints or edit the compact YAML. This lowers the barriers, so platform engineers, the VI admins, and even non-specialists can quickly author repeatable standardized infrastructure.
Nice. So what I'm hearing is that admins can build infrastructure as code in minutes, not days.
Yeah, that's exactly it.
Yeah, that's awesome. Um, Changing the topic a little bit onto the governance side of things. So
Sure.
why teach governance as part of the IAC fast track? Isn't infrastructure as code just provisioning, right? That's how people tend to see it.
Sure. So in practice, infrastructure as code is the mechanism to enforce safe operations at scale. And with VCF 9, that ties the blueprints and YAML into the tenant management, your namespace classes, and YAML-based policy as code. That lets the cloud admins carve up infrastructure and enforce quotas and approvals and manage day two actions programmatically. Teaching infrastructure as code with policy as codes shows admins how to enable developer self-service while preserving the security, isolation, and cost controls.
Aha. So it gives the developers freedom, but at the same time, it enforces the guardrails through automation. Um, okay. Now we talked about some of these things. Let's see us in action. Can you show us a quick demo?
Yeah, sure. Let me get a demo ready here. I was actually just working on this new blueprint I have over here. And so let me go ahead and I'll share it with you real quick here. Here. So I think you can see my screen now.
Yep. Yeah, I
This
see it.
is a simple web server blueprint we have, and we have created a namespace here, along with a load balancer and a web VM and a bootstrap for that VM. And so really what we do here is at the beginning of our YAML, we just gather some inputs, and some of these are dynamic, where it gathers the namespace from the environment, where others require the user to input, say, the name of the Apache virtual machine, but also allows you to do some pattern matching with regex to ensure that that conforms to appropriate standards that you may have. And then so as we quickly kind of just go through this, you can see there's a load balance here, simply defined with SSH on port 22, along with HTTP on port 80, along with our web server machine here that has some property group environmental variables for its name server and domain, but also it uses cloud config to customize that machine. So you can really control exactly the configuration being applied to this web server that's being provisioned through the self-service catalog, which I can show you real quick here.
Mhm.
That so when your end users come to request something, you're controlling the provisioning of that infrastructure by designing these blueprints and then presenting those blueprints to these end users in the catalog. And so if we click on this web server, you can take a look at what these inputs would look like when the end user would make the request here. So as you can see, the environment's pulled some of these inputs dynamically and lets the end user input the deployment name and the virtual machine name and choose the size they'd like along with their username and password. And so it's really that friendly for the end user, but that easy to really implement infrastructure as code with a code approach.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
Of course.
Okay, so to recap, VCF9 offers a fast path from a VI admin to a cloud admin. It makes infrastructure as code approachable with visual blueprints and low-code YAML. And it also teaches infrastructure as code as the tool to automate governance in multi-tenant environments.
Yeah, exactly. With VCF Automation, you can quickly stand up an application team-ready private cloud, deliver IaaS out of the box, and use infrastructure as code to scale safely. It's a practical fast track for admins who want to move up the stack without starting from scratch.
Yep. I mean, learn infrastructure as code the easy way. You're keeping your skills, you adopt low code blueprints, and you get to codify the guardrails. It's been great to have you, Scott. Thank you so much. To our audience, also thank you for joining us today. I want to give Scott this big shout out for chatting with me and showing me how VCF9 helps VI admins level up, makes governance far, far simpler, and also gives teams the freedom they need without losing this control. So, for all of you out there watching, if you want to simplify your private cloud operations and in general just get more done, definitely check out what VCF 9.0 has to offer. We'll be back soon with more tips and demos. This is Alina Thylander, your host, signing off. And until we meet again, stay bright and keep on smiling.